Facebook, or no, swear jar, YouTube Live with Creativity Cave. I'm Dina Rico and I'm super excited to stamp with you. I hope you are ready for a fun afternoon of stamping. I was gonna say crafting and then I was gonna say stamping and then I said cramping. Well, sometimes that is the truth. I hope that you guys are ready for some fun though. I am getting my Stampin' Lips on because you know you got to do that. It's a whole thing. One must have stamping lips when stamping. So I've got some great projects for today, and I have a date night with my husband tonight. So we kind of got to get to it. And before you're all too jealous about my date night, let me just preface it by saying we're going to go look at cell phone plans. That is what our date night is. So, not probably like the most romantic option, but regardless, it should be fun. So I hope that you will think of me next time you go on a date night that's as romantic as this. I had a lovely weekend, kind of busy with all kinds of things going on. We had like a team gathering for Carl's cross country team, like a potluck. And because it was so dang hot, it turned into a brunch. So that was kind of fun to switch the stuff we were going to bring. But luckily there was plenty of everything. And really looking forward to our season this year with Carl. His first meet is this weekend. So that's going to be awesome. It's going to be a home meet, and I think it's going to be less than 150 degrees out, so that will be great. We also, oh, this is funny. I've been waiting to tell you guys this. So Carl is in driver's ed right now, and his driver's ed teacher his name is Verd. And as my husband and my son have been describing him to me, I really thought the picture in my head was something kind of like Joe Exotic, but maybe with a few less piercings. Joe Exotic, if you're not familiar, is the Tiger King. You might remember him from such many docu-series on Netflix as the Tiger King. And so yesterday, Carl had driver's ed, and when we went to pick him up afterwards, he had driving, like behind the wheel driving. And when we went to pick him up, he was pulling in right in front of us, and we were kind of giggling like, oh, I wonder if that's Carl. And then we saw that it was him. So he gets out, or he texts me, like, and I don't think he knew that we were right behind him. He texts me and says, oh my gosh, I think I almost died at least twice on this drive. And we were like, oh dear. And he was not driving at this time, by the way. He was done driving. And he said the girl that he drove with was horrible, and that he seriously like thought they were going to get into an accident like more than once. And apparently the teacher, Verd, like was swearing at them, I think because it was like that bad. And I do believe when they got out of the car, like, first of all, I needed a picture to match what I had been thinking of after all of these descriptions of this Verd guy were. And let me tell you, I was not wrong. A, mullet, check. B, blonde, check. C, what's the word? I don't know. I don't want to be offensive here in my description of him, but I think redneck, check. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I'm thinking like appearance-wise, a little Duck Dynasty minus the beards. I don't know. I just have to say, he did not disappoint. when Carl, so we pick him up, he gets in the car and he tells us about all the things this poor girl did wrong. And we saw her like calling, somebody come pick me up. And all I could think of is, I'm so glad like he survived this whole experience without dying because apparently this girl was like that bad. And, you know, so we've been driving with Carl for a while, and he's actually a pretty good driver. Not actually, he is a good driver. It is not, I mean, I feel lucky because like I never felt too concerned about my life while driving with him, even the first few times. But wow, apparently this girl has not gotten a lot of practice with her parents. So yeah, can you imagine being a driver's ed teacher? Like I can't. Like, wow. I think it takes a special kind of person to be able to do that. Carl said he had to use the brake with this girl quite a bit. But I don't believe he had to use the brake with Carl. So that's good. On his first session, the teacher, I don't know if it was this guy, if it was somebody else, said something like, whatever your parents did, they did it right. And I was like, aw. So anyway, it's interesting having a driver going through driving with your kids. It's like, wow. Wow. And then, what did he say? They watched Red Pavement or something, Red Asphalt. Apparently that's like a notorious driver's ed video, which is, I don't know, Andy Googled it and we were looking, and I don't know if it's that because like people like are bleeding on the asphalt or if there's something else happening, but whatever. I remember I had to watch this video with Ella so we would get a discount on our driver's insurance or our car insurance. And it was like all the reasons why your kid will get into an accident and all the people who could die. It's just like, I don't ever want him to drive. But we got the discount. And so far, no one's died. These are all good things. Knock on my laminate wood tile covering. Anyway. Okay. So I'm laughing because you guys are all saying like all the people you know are drivers ed teachers. Wow. Very nerve-wracking. So, but both of my kids did really well with that. I remember when I was a kid, we didn't have fancy cars like I have for my kids. We had to learn on a stick shift. And I remember my sister was learning and we were at this intersection that was a stop sign like on a hill, and it had a pretty good angle to it, and she killed the car like literally 30 times. And I remember sitting in the back seat of the car with my mom and my sister going, how am I ever going to be able to go through this intersection when I'm old enough? And I do believe I did kill the car at that intersection at some point in my life, but I don't know why. I will never ever forget that. She killed the car like 30 times. And I felt so bad for her. She was getting so flustered. And I remember being worried about learning to drive. But I don't know. I think by the time I drove, the car we had wasn't quite as bad. But yes, I learned on a stick way harder. Both of my kids, they have no experience with a stick. So sad. But it is what it is. Anyway. Well, I think that's enough stories of driver's ed and teenage drivers. Oh, goodness. So I will let you know how the cell phone shopping goes. That's going to be fun because, there's nothing more fun than trying to figure out a new cell phone plan. I'm hoping to switch because our cell phone plan is ridiculous. Right now, it's $350 a month, and I feel like we can save some money there. So anyway, well, I do have some really awesome projects planned for you today. And our first card is going to be a fun fold, and I'm going to have a card challenge. We did this, maybe a month or so ago. And so I thought it was time to do another one. Someone's saying go through Verizon, and I'm saying, yeah, we're getting rid of Verizon. They have major blackout areas in my in my area. So yeah, I want to get rid of them. And yes, Donna, a stick shift is a manual. So anyway, Donna, my friend Donna, she is in Australia. What time is it in Australia, Donna? It's 5 p.m. where I live. I would love to know what time it is. I already was on a call with her earlier today, so I'm really curious what time it is, because I think it was like 2 a.m. when she was on earlier with me. So kind of funny. 8 a.m. now. Okay, that's good to know. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to flip my camera around because, like I said, I've got all kinds of fun stuff to show you. And like I said, our first card is going to be a card challenge. So this is how it works. I'm going to show you a new, or I'm going to show you it's a fun fold, my card for our challenge. And then tomorrow, because I won't get this done till tomorrow, I will post a graphic in my Stamping with the Creativity Cave Facebook group, and you can share a card that you create with this fun fold in that group. And then I will do a drawing. I'll give you actually a little over a week, because next week is a holiday for the US. And so the next time I'm live, I will do a drawing with the people who created a project. So you'll have, almost 2 weeks to do this. And so yeah, it'll be good. Okay, so I'm gonna flip my camera. Okay, here we go. That looks pretty good. So in our live today, I think you're gonna like my projects, but I do have a few things to share with you first. I've got some cards I got in my mailbox that I wanted to show you, and I've got some stamps to give away too. So, okay, so my first card, isn't this pretty? This is a card that I received from one of my team members, Miss Jennifer Watson. I thought it was her, but I wasn't sure because I have a few cards for my team members. So she is just the best. And this is a beautiful card that she created with a pretty watercolor background and the Celebrating Sunflowers stamp set. And I love this set. In our neighborhood, there's some people with sunflowers, a few different people, and also Joe Exotic, aka Carl's driver's ed teacher. Yeah, he had some sunflowers at his house too. Then this is another, isn't this card gorgeous? This is from Christy, who's on my team. She sent this to me and I just love it. It is with the, let's see, shaded summer stamp set and the, shaded dies stamps. No, shaded, help me with the name of the dies. I can never remember. But the coordinating dies that are part of Celebration. So the stamp set's in the annual catalog and then the dies are part of Celebration. So really cool. And I love the background. Isn't that pretty? What is the border? This is from let me, hold on. You guys are asking me all the hard questions. But I can tell you, give me one sec. Okay. The border is from, well, there's a couple. You could use the scallop in the peony die set. There is also one in the, actually it might be retired, but I can't remember. But the peony one, it has a scallop. There's also, also you could use an edge of the Stitched So Sweetly dies or the, edge of the color and contour dies. That would give you a good scallop. But the hand-penned dies, the penned flowers dies, those, that also has the has that border. So we have several. There was a set called the Stitched with Love, I think, dies. So yeah, color and contour. Is that what I said? That's what I meant. Okay, so yeah, there's actually several different dies. And then what's the embossing folder? It's actually not an embossing folder. It's white die cut images glued to a white background. So it's not embossed. It's actually, that's kind of like a faux embossing technique. So yeah, isn't that a pretty card? Oh, actually, I'm sorry. There is an embossing folder on here, and that is, this is probably the retired one, which is, or no, it's the painted one. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Monique, if you drop me an email, I'll be happy to send you a catalog. Painted texture. That is this background that is embossed, but this is faux embossing. So yeah, gosh, all kinds of stuff happening on both of these cards. Are very pretty, aren't they? Okay, I also received, this was another really pretty card. Isn't this gorgeous? You inspire me. This is from approximately the sweetest human being ever. She's on my team. Her name is Karen, and I just love this. Such pretty, pretty colors. So thank you for that, Miss Karen. And another really cute card. This one is from another team member of mine, Julie. She sent such a cute card. Do you guys remember this is DSP from the last go around of celebration back in January. So very pretty. And finally, one more card from a team member. This is from Gwen, who is on my team as well. So pretty. So yeah, all of these cards are just so wonderful. I love getting cards from people. And so thank you all for sending me a card in the mail. And then I have a couple of stamp sets to give away. I've got these Handmade for You stamp sets. These are in the catalog. There's a little copyright Stampin' Up. This is perfect for the angel stamp policy. You know, if you sell cards with Stampin' Up images, you need to have that stamp on the back. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, so I have two of these to give away, and I drew some names. So let's see who we have here. Deborah Molinari, I think. So congratulations to you, Deborah. And Linda Beachy, awesome. So good job, ladies. Thank you so much for sharing my video and or purchasing from my online store. You all get entered when you share my video onto Facebook for a drawing for free stamps. And I forgot to do it last week. So yeah. Okay, so there we go. We'll get those mailed out to you. I'm pretty sure, I know I have Linda's address, and I'll have to check. I'll have to check on Deborah's, but if not, you can email me your mailing address. That would rock. And my email's in the description of this video. So congratulations to you, my friends. Next up, we're going to do that fun. Oh no, I have a few more things to tell you. Sorry, real quick. Okay, first, the hand-penned all-star tutorial bundle is my free gift with purchase in my online store. If you spend $50 before tax and shipping in my Stampin' Up store for Stampin' Up products, you can get this hand-penned tutorial for free this month. This is just until tomorrow, because tomorrow's the last day of the month. So make sure you get in on that. You can also purchase this for $15. And the awesome part is there are all of the dimensions are in both English units and in metric units for metric cardstock, because metric cardstock is different size. I shouldn't say metric cardstock because that's not really what it is, but I think it's called A4. It's in Europe and the South Pacific. Here in North America, we have different sized cardstock. I don't know if you guys knew that. So, all right. Next up, my fall Stampapalooza. It is coming up in just a few weeks' time. I'm so excited about this event. We have a whole weekend of awesome stamping, as well as a day of business training, so you can get in on either or. So the Fall Stampapalooza part is the stamping part, and then the Stamp Business Palooza is the business training part. We're very excited about it because we have lots of awesome speakers on a variety of topics, and it's going to be a great, great time. I can't wait for you all to be a part of this. If you would like to get registered, just email me and I'll send you the link to get registered. It is going to be a good time, and I don't have too many boxes left. So if you would like a box, make sure you get registered soon. I also have 2 online classes going out tomorrow, and I'll be honest, the packets probably won't go out tomorrow because, well, 2 reasons. 1, I'm waiting on a box, and 2, my assistant who's who does the boxes for me, is not going to be here till Wednesday. So she had to switch her schedule. But great classes. They'll just go out one day late. The Christmas season online class are just amazing Christmas cards. I love them. And we also make this little tag box, sort of a box. It's a holder for a bunch of tags that are really cute and easy to make. So this is a great class. I definitely recommend it. And then the Sparkle of the Season Creativity to Go kit. Now, if you have the Sparkle of the Season bundle, or if you have last year's wreath bundle, this is a great class. You're really going to enjoy it. Lots of fun things created with this. So get in on that. There are links in the description of the video. And if you do shop my online store, by the way, you can use my August host code, which is 4F79HQJ. And that is appreciated on orders under $150. If your order is over $150, don't use the code, but instead, Stampin' Up! Will give you some awesome Stampin' rewards. So we'd love for you to get those. All right, so time to stamp. Again, our first card is a fun fold. And it is going to be created with a kind of a big card base. And again, this is for the card challenge that I'm having. I think I just saw somebody said they don't have Facebook. And if you're saying that because you would like to enter the card contest, unfortunately, you got to have Facebook to do it. It's just logistically the only way I can offer a card contest. So if you're not on Facebook, maybe just join just for the stamping part, because let me tell you, I do a lot of fun stuff on Facebook. All right, so first card, your card base is going to be 5.5 inches by 11 inches. So 5.5, which is like a normal size of a card, by 11. So this is a long piece. You only can get one of these out of a sheet of cardstock. Well, at least 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And then the belly band is 1 by 11 inches. So there's going to be a belly band that goes around this. And then you're going to need 3 pieces of DSP. A 1/2 inch by 5 1/4, an inch by 5 1/4, and 3.5 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, now we're going to score this piece, and I'm actually going to do it right here with you. We're going to score at 1 3/4, 5 1/2, and 9 3/4. So let's do that. I've got my piece. I'm using some basic gray cardstock for this. So I'm going to score at 1 3/4. I'm going to score at 5 1/2 inches, like that. And then I'm going to score at 9 3/4 of an inch. And I don't know if this card, if this has a special name for this fun fold. It's like I've heard it called the triple fold. So, all right, so we're going to take that one that's sort of in half, and we're going to fold in half. And you can do this, by the way I'm doing it, or you can do it the other way, which is to flip it around. But I'm going to have the card open, normally like this. So I've got this fold. I'm going to fold back, and then I'm going to take this other one and fold that back. Okay, and there we go. Now don't worry, you can see that kind of made a little line with my bone folder. But we're going to cover this up with Designer Series paper, so it's no big deal. Okay, so this is my fun fold, and then we'll wrap a belly band around this. Okay, next up, what I'm going to do is take my pieces of DSP. Oh dear, I had a third. Aha, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to start from the outside, or from the right side, and work my way over. So I'm just going to adhere these pieces on, and I've got my 1 inch piece that fits perfectly right here. Okay, and then I've got the 1.5 inch piece, which is going to fit right here. And I chose the striped pattern, and then I've got this final piece. Now this paper is from the hand drawn, I think, DSP? Oh my gosh, I can never remember. Hold on a sec, I've got it right here. I'll tell you in a sec. That's part of the celebration offering, okay? And that is beautifully penned. Oh, I should have known. Beautifully penned. So there's some really pretty patterns in this pack of paper. And there we go. Someone's saying, what is your Facebook Live, please? I don't have a Facebook Live. I think I might have said that by accident. We're on YouTube Live. You're watching me on YouTube, so yeah. How do you keep the paper from cracking when folding it? So I used my scoring blade to score the edges, and I don't have a problem with cracking. So hopefully that helps. Okay. All right, so there we go. This is our basic layout. Then on the inside of our card, I die cut this. This is from the Color and Contour bundle, the dies. I die cut that largest one, and we're just going to place it in here for our insert. So you can actually write on this piece. I just thought it was fancy. I got a card in the mail, a few weeks ago, and the inside was like this, and I thought it was so fun. So then, you know, when you open it, you see that. Oh, so cool. Okay, then I've got this strip. This is 1 inch by 11 inches for my belly band, okay? And so for this, I'm going to wrap this around my card. And so what I'm going to do is I don't like scoring things like this. I just like to wrap them. So I'm going to kind of turn this over, and we'll take and pull this around. And I don't want to be too tight with this, meaning I don't want to wrap it too tight. I want to give it a little bit of give so that it's easy to get on and off my card. Okay. Because otherwise, if it's too tight, people will rip it. All right. And now the other thing is I'm going to actually put the adhesive on the front side of my card, and I'll show you why in a second. Because we're going to cover this up with a little something, something. Okay, now it's a fine line because you don't want it too loose that it just falls right off, right? Okay. So I'll put some adhesive on here, and I'll make sure that it's not super duper tight, like I'm not trying to hold up a bridge with this, but you can see that slides off. Not too, it doesn't fall off, but it doesn't, it's not too hard to get off. Okay, so there you go. It's just right. Oh my gosh, so I'm giggling about that. Now I also die cut for myself a little label, and this label is from the Tasteful Labels dies. Tasteful Labels dies, one of my favorites. I've also spit on it a couple times, so we'll wipe that off and no one will know, except for all of you guys watching. Okay, so I'm just gonna put my adhesive on here and attach this. Now, of course, this gray neutral colored cardstock needs a pop of color for sure, and so I think that's kind of fun. So there we go. There is our card. Now, of course, we have to do a little stamping on this. So I thought I would take the coordinating hand-penned stamp set to make a card on here, or stamp an image on there. So I'm going to take this stamp and stamp it on a scrap of white. Somebody asked if this is Melon Mambo. It is not. It is Magenta Madness. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up my cardstock, and we're going to ink this up with some black Memento ink. And then we're going to give it a little coloring. Okay, and I like to use my Stamparatus. I also have, because this is like the best, I've got my hockey puck Again, not actually a hockey puck. It's a air hockey handle that you can get off the Amazon. And it really makes it work really nice. Okay, so there we go. We've got this. Now let's give it a little coloring. So for this, I'm going to take my Magenta Madness. I'm going to take my Granny Apple Green and my Fresh Freesia and give this some coloring. Now, I love these colors. I love the pinks. So pretty. Okay, so let's start with, let's see, I kind of like putting a little reference down. So this is my light and dark Fresh Freesia. And by the way, I meant dark and light. This is my dark and light magenta. You can see those are a little brighter. And then my Granny Apple Green, dark and light. So I can just kind of see what colors I've got here. So I'm going to start with Fresh Freesia, and I'm going to do my light color and kind of color on the tips of my petals. And these are Stampin' Blends, so that's the reason why I stamped my outline image with Memento ink, because I want to color these in. If I were to use our StazOn black, that's an alcohol-based ink, and it would cause bleeding on the black lines because these are alcohol markers, much like if you use a water-based ink with watercoloring, that is also causes bleeding. So Memento is what you use with alcohol-based inks. I love these Stampin' Blend markers. They are some of my favorites. Okay, so I've got that down. I'm going to add a little bit of the dark Freesia, kind of like this. And I'm working my way to the darker color, which of course is going to be my magenta. And usually I work the other way around, but this Freesia is kind of a different color, so I sort of wanted to play with it a little bit more with the lighter version first, before we got to the real dark coloring. Okay, so you can see that's blending nicely, a little shading happening. Okay, now we're going to go with the dark Magenta Madness. Okay, so again, I said I usually like doing the dark first, so here we go. We're going to do the dark at the base of these petals, and then we're going to blend them out with the light. Okay. And one of the things I love about coloring this image is it's kind of a sketchy design, not sketchy like it's on the wrong side of town late at night with questionable clothing. It's kind of a sketched line on the art. You're welcome for that description, by the way. Okay, so you can see the dark color is definitely kind of at the base of each of these petals, and then we're going to blend it a little bit. And likewise here, we want the darkest to be right in the center. So pretty. Okay. I feel like there's all kinds of conversations going on while I'm talking in here. Okay, so now I'm blending with the light. I'll probably come back in with a little bit of my Fresh Freesia just to kind of blend this up just a little more. But I just love these bright colors. Okay, so I'm going to take my dark freesia and just kind of blend. Blend, blend, blend. Gosh, I think pink and purple is a little bit on the brain today because we're going to do another sort of pinky purple card. Okay, so I love this. Let's add our green because that's really going to make everything pop. Again, I like to start with my darker color. So this is Granny Apple Green Dark. And it just adds such a nice pop of color here. So sketchy lines on here. Pretty easy. And then we're going to blend the rest with Granny Apple Green Light. So to blend, I like to go over what I first colored and then blend out, except obviously I didn't quite do that on the flowers just because we had a couple of colors on here. But there we go. Oh, this is looking so pretty. I'm excited. And you know, the greens really can make a big difference. So if I wanted to tone this down a little bit, I could have used soft succulent or mint macaron as my greens, or even old olive for a warmer green, but a little more subtle. This is kind of a bright green, which I love because we've got the bright colors. So that looks nice. So there you go. Okay. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. Okay. Which tip of the blender marker are you using? So you can see this is the line for the bullet end, and then this is the line for the brush end. That's how you can easily tell the difference between them. I definitely like using the bullet end because it stands up to my blending, I think, pretty well. So, okay, so there we go. Then we're going to quick die cut this. So we've got a die that'll cut this shape out. So let me run that through my machine real quick. Now we went to all the trouble to color this gorgeous flower. So we're going to make sure we don't mess it up at the end by cutting it out wrong. So I'm going to just throw a Post-it note over this, and this will hold it in place. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. Oh, perfection. I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to take and put that on top of this gorgeous card. Isn't it so gorgeous? Oh my gosh. Did I say I'll post the dimensions on Facebook? Yes, I will post this on Facebook with the challenge graphic. So that's part of why it won't go up till tomorrow. So I can put all of that in. Yes. Okay, so now we're going to pop this baby up onto my card like this. You can see I'm just kind of putting dimensionals on the one side over here. And actually, I probably shouldn't stick this down quite yet. Well, it'll probably be okay. There we go. And what I want to do is add my sentiment. And in my stamp set, there's some really nice sentiments. So I think I'm going to go with Feel Better, Friend. That's just a nice sentiment. And we are going to stamp that right there. And I probably should have done this before I stuck it on, but we'll do that in Magenta Madness ink on Magenta Madness cardstock. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Okay. And then, of course, we have to embellish. I mean, hello. I think I'm going to One of my favorite embellishments is actually the Elegant Faceted Gems. I don't know why I love it for this so much, but we're going to take this and we'll put one of those babies on there like that. And maybe another one over here, and maybe one more big one, like right there, just to add some fun little pieces. But there we go. So when you pull that card out and open it up, oh, literally, I think the angels might sing a little because it's so pretty. Don't you think? So there you go, my friends. And just in case you're hopping right on, this is the layout for a card challenge that will be on my Stamping with the Creativity Cave Facebook page or group. It is a group you can join. And I like to share my creations on there and whatnot. Here's all the dimensions, and I will post a picture of this on there as well, so you can make one of these yourself. Like, and what I was trying to say at the very beginning, I don't know if you heard this or could read through the lines of what I was trying to say, but you could do it this way or this way. You know, so the fold is on this side. I like it on this side just because that's how cards normally open, and sometimes people don't get it when they open the other way. I'm just saying. So yeah, so super fun to create just a little different fun fold. And this is the beautifully penned DSP. That's part of the celebration offering. Of course, you can use whatever papers you like. This is fun to use with all kinds of different patterns. You can have like coordinating patterns or totally different patterns, whatever you want. So yeah, there you go. So if you are just joining in, definitely catch the replay. I also think it's worth, yeah, the replay. Okay. Next up, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and well, two things. We're going to make a real quick card and then a fancy card. So my quick card is, I think I made last week a card with this. Yes, I did. Actually, it was with the same paper. Remember this card? I'm pretty sure this was from last week. I have this color combination, and I just cannot get it out of my head, you guys. So we're going to make it another card with that color combo, because I literally, I can't help myself. So if you recall, it was Magenta Madness, Mango Melody, Fresh Freesia. Sorry, that goes right here. Fresh Freesia and Coastal Cabana, the color that lets us know God loves us. Yes, so we're going to use these colors to create kind of a fun card. And I have the henna hearts. We're actually going to make 2 cards with this stamp set. I really like this stamp set. It's just kind of a little different, and it's pretty and it's fun, and I wanted to use the solid heart. So we're going to take that and use these fun colors because I just can't stop myself. All right, so here we go. I'm going to take, first of all, I need my some grid paper to protect my work surface, but I wanted to take and make a card with this, and I think I'm going to flip it this way. Okay, so basically you just need to start someplace. Okay, so there's my first heart. Now this is one of those cards where you got to clean in between pretty much every time. So have a cleaner handy at the ready. Make sure that you get your cards clean, because otherwise it'll be bad. Nobody likes it when it's bad. Okay, so I'm going to take and flip my image between each one. Okay, and then we'll flip this back like so. Okay, and then we're going to continue. So that one was up, so this one will be down. Okay. I didn't do a super good job of inking that up, but that's okay. All right, next color is going to be that. And then I'll do, oops, this. Okay. And then we'll do that. Ooh, I meant to do it over a little further, but that's okay. No worries. Ooh, that is not clean. Definitely want to make sure it's clean. Okay, next color is, we gotta ink this baby up like we mean it this time. There we go. So fun. And then finally, we've got that. Okay, so pretty fun. All right, I'll close up these ink pads before there's a situation. And this is kind of a boring card. That's fine. We don't need it to be too exciting. But we're going to adhere it to a piece of smoky slate cardstock. Give that a good crease. So it's kind of a dull color because, again, the highlight is the stamping. Okay, and then, let's see. I'm trying to remember what size. We're going to trim this just a little. Then we're going to add a sentiment to this. And as it turns out, there is just a wonderful, ooh, that was scoring, a wonderful little sentiment that goes with this super nicely. And that is from the set Lovely You. Oops, I just dropped something. So the Lovely You stamp set is gorgeous. Ooh, but you know what I dropped? That's funny. I dropped this. I wonder if we did that right over the top of our stamping, if that would be cool. What do you guys think? This pierce this on top of this. Should we do that? What do you guys think? Tell me if I should do it. Say heck yeah or don't do it. Okay, Cheryl said yes. Rita said yes. We got it. Okay, go for it. Thank you. Here we go. Ooh, that's cool. Awesome. Okay, I wasn't even going to do that, but now I'm excited that we did. All right, so let's adhere this to my card. Oh my gosh. Come on, Dina. You can use your seal. There we go. Okay. Isn't that awesome? I like it too. That worked out. Okay, so there we go. That's on there with just a little peak of black. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our sentiment from that Lovely You stamp set that I mentioned. And there's a couple of them. We're going to use one on one card and the other on the other card. So I've got the this one, which says miles apart and still in my heart. Aw, I gotta send this to my Ella because she's at school. So, okay, her school is about 3 hours from me. So I'm gonna stamp that in Versamark, and then we're going to emboss. With some white powder. Oh, I should probably stamp it first, though. Okay. All right. Let's Let's heat this baby up. Come on. I think when you really want it to melt is when it least wants to melt for you. Okay, so there we go. We've got it. And I'll give this a quick snip. Okay, we're gonna pop this up on our card and add a little ribbon. Okay, so I'll adhere this. My white powder stays on so good after you thump it. How do you do that? I would say make sure your Versamark is juicy enough, because if your Versamark pad is dry to begin with, then it's not going to have anything to stick to. And second, don't wait forever. Like sometimes if you wait a long time, everything kind of dries, and that's no bueno. So yeah, those are a couple of tips. I'm going to put, this is some of our like white sparkle organdy ribbon that's in the holiday catalog, the mini catalog. I'm going to just throw a little bit of this on here. Okay. Like that. And we're going to do one more thing before. So I'm just going to set that on there to hold it in place. We're going to spritz it. Okay, so I'm going to take my black marker. I'm going to put this in the cap. And I'm going to flick it. Listen. Okay, oops. So that puts little black speckles. We probably didn't have to have that on there, but it's kind of fun. Okay, then on the back side of this, I'm actually going to use my Seal Plus just because this ribbon will really stick to that. And we don't want it to fall off because that would be a bummer. Okay, so I got the ribbon on there. And then we'll pop this up onto our card with a couple of dimensionals. And then we're good to go. So kind of fun. This one went in a slightly different direction than I had originally intended, but I love when that happens because that's usually some of my best work. And then our final card after this, we're going to do the same stamp set, but we're going to do a different card with some ink blending. Okay, so there we go. Isn't that pretty? So much fun. Okay, so again, we're going to continue using that Henna Hearts stamp set. I really like it. This time, we're going to change up the colors a little. And we're going to do blending. So I'm going to start because the first thing we have to do is stamp. We're going to do an emboss resist technique. And if you remember, I did an emboss resist technique a while ago, and it was kind of a big hit. You guys liked it a lot. So I thought we'd do another one, but change it up a little bit this time. So this is going to be a slightly different look. We're gonna pull out the good Versamark pad for this. I say good because it's not like completely covered in schmutz. And for this, we're gonna stamp that detail image, which is just so pretty. Okay, and we're just gonna stamp it on here probably 3 times. So there's one. Ooh, we could probably just do one and that would be pretty cool. I think I'm just going to do one because actually I really like the look of that. Okay. And you can use clear powder for this or white. It doesn't really matter. Thump. And it's still stuck. Okay. Then I'm also going to stamp my other sentiment real quick on a strip of black, just like before. Same Lovely You stamp set, just a different sentiment out of there. You could use the same sentiment, but I kind of like this one as well. And so let me quick do that with my thingy. Boom. And it's even straight. Sometimes that's kind of a miracle. Okay, so we'll do that really quick. Love is what makes us family. Aww. Okay, there we go. Now let's put the cover on this before something really bad happens. I've spilled that powder before. Don't want to ever do that again. Okay, we're going to heat both of these up, and then we're going to do our ink blending. Okay, oops. I'd do this too. Oh, embossing is just the coolest. This was, someone just recently described this as a gateway drug to stamping. I loved that. Heat embossing is a gateway drug to stamping. It's just so awesome. Okay, so there we go. We've got our design on here. Now this, of course, would work with any outline design, but I really like this. And I also, that was not quite dry, but it's all good. Okay, there is something so satisfying about that. I love that. What should people do if they don't have an anti-static bag? You can use a Swiffer or a dryer sheet and just rub that on. Yeah. Okay. So for our blending, let me grab my brushes. Okay. Now I gotta see how this is gonna work. Ooh. Okay, our first, let's see, hold on. Our first color is Blushing Bride. And I'm concerned because I don't have, I think I used one of my brushes that was supposed to stay light with the wrong color. So let's see what we can get off of this. Yeah, it's not half bad. Okay, so we're going to start with Blushing Bride. Okay. And we're going to put some color down with Blushing Bride. By the way, Blushing Bride is not one of my favorite colors, but I think it's going to be pretty on this. Now, this, you have to take this with a little bit of grain of salt because this is Blushing Bride with Magenta Madness kind of already on the brush. And if I had time, I could clean my brush out. But since I'm live, that's not going to happen today. That's okay. All right, so that's my first color, Blushing Bride. My second color is Flirty Flamingo. Again, this is going to be a little bit contaminated because we're using a brush that used Magenta Madness last time it was used, but I think it's going to work just fine. Okay, so we're just going to blend that color on here. So I'm going from lightest to darkest, and of course you can see that embossing is resisting, and it's glorious. I love it. So pretty. Okay. Oh, so good. So good. All right, next up, I've got Highland Heather. Okay. Highland Heather, are you ready? So I like to kind of get rid of the first bit of ink first. And I know what you're thinking. Highland Heather next to Flirty Flamingo. Is that a good idea? and you'll have to tell me. Sometimes colors blend really nicely together and sometimes they don't. So it just kind of depends. But I'm liking the look of this. And I'm also proud of myself because these are not colors I use all the time. I mean, I use Highland Heather quite a bit, but not Highland Heather with Flirty Flamingo, okay? Now, by the way, if you're worried about touching this while you're working, you can take and put a piece of cardstock on here to prevent your fingers from leaving fingerprints or from smudging and all of that business, okay? So that's an option for you. All right, my final color is Gorgeous Grape. Now, this is a really dark color, so we're going to get rid of some of the ink to start with, so that we don't overpower this whole business. And then we're going to keep adding. Again, get rid of that first bit of ink at the bottom. And by the way, just as a tip, like if you always start over here, start down here so you don't end up with the whole thing getting really dark. Just a tip. Okay, so there we go. Kind of fun, isn't it? I like that. All right, now we also want to take, and hold on one second, I gotta grab a tissue. I want to wipe the ink off of my embossing. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of wipe this off, starting from the top and going down so that I don't smear ink in places I don't want to smear ink. Ooh, that's pretty. And I just went right up and above and ignored my own advice, but that's okay. Isn't that cool? Now, what I originally planned on doing was putting another one here and here, but I really like that one single one kind of a lot, so I changed my mind. That's okay. That's what stamping's all about. You can change your mind if you want. Ain't no one gonna tell you anything different. Okay, so that's pretty. Ooh, love it. All right, but wait, there's more. Okay, so this is where things get fun. I've got myself here a water painter, and I'm going to take and squirt out, not squirt out, but squeeze the water so that it's like juicy on here, like it's pretty wet. There we go. Like literally I can see the water in my bristles, so they're pretty good and wet. And then I'm going to take something like my bone folder here, and we're going to tap this on here. So we're tapping clear water onto our project. Okay. And you might think, oh, that's all right. But wait for it. And I'm going to give it a couple of I'm hoping to get a bigger blob. Maybe I won't get it. Okay, then I'm going to put that tissue over this and sort of pick up the color, and then look at the background. It's got all little splotchies on it. Isn't that awesome? So that kind of creates like a watery resist, basically. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our card together. So I've got love is what makes us family. So nice. All right, I'm going to take, and I've got this punch, whatever this punch is called, and I'm going to do, and I'm sorry, I'm going to pinch this with the nipple. There's just no really other way around it. It's a nipple. You can be upset with me if you want. That's fine, but that's what this is. Okay, so we're going to just punch that end, just the one end. Seriously. I know. If you're rolling your eyes at me, that's okay. I can take it. And then, gotta find my card base. Here we go. I'm just going to take this. You might say this card's a little nipply, because it is. I just need to keep it light and fun, because that's what stamping is. Okay. It's not like it's a cactus card. Just saying. All right. So I'm going to adhere this right on here. And don't you just love the contrast of the blending on the white background? Oh, I love it. Okay. I know you can't unsee it, but you're welcome. Or I apologize, whichever works for you. Okay. So I'm going to adhere that right on there. So pretty. Okay. And then we're going to add this. And I think I want a little embellishment. I think I'm just going to take some of my white. This is white crinkled seam binding, which I know some of you who are a little type A are probably wanting to pull the iron out, but don't do it. It's supposed to be crinkled. It's okay. So we'll just tie a little bow. Oops, stick that under there. Angie writes the name of her punch on the punch. That's a good idea. But then, Angie, how would you know if the official name of the punch is the Nipply Punch or not? I mean, oh, goodness. It's so hard to deal with that. All right, I don't like that, but maybe that. I don't like that either. I don't like that at all. Ooh, but I just thought of something else. Now, when you think I'm a genius, you would be right. I don't like that either. I thought it was going to be like amazing, and it turns out it's not. Okay, we're not going to do that either. Don't worry, we'll get there. Ooh, what about this? Like some silver. Okay, so I'm just going to take and wrap a couple lengths of this like that. All right. There it is. Ooh, I don't like that either. Maybe we just don't need anything. I definitely think we're going to make it a little shorter. Okay, let's pop this up and we'll add a couple of embellishments to this as well. Okay. Now for the embellishments, I was thinking we could use our silver and clear epoxy essentials. And I kind of think the teardrops sound like a good idea. So let's put, because you know your family makes you cry sometimes. That's just how it is. Just put a few of those on here. Kind of like that. How's that? And by the way, this card, not too thick, so it's going to send really nicely. All right, so there you go, friends. What do you think? All right, well, this is my final card. I know I normally do 4, but I got a cell phone date with my husband, so I got to get on this. All right, so there's my card. There's another card. So fun. And our first card, which makes me happy. They're all pretty bright and happy cards. So there you go, my friends. I hope you loved these projects. If you could give me a thumbs up, that would rock my world. I really appreciate it when you do that. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There should be a little thing that says subscribe right there. And I'm going to try and get these on my blog. I need to do that each week so that I can share these projects with you. But this with the dimensions will be posted on my Stamping with the Creativity Cave page so that you can participate in our card challenge. And there will be prizes, by the way. So make sure and get entered. I will put the due date on, but it will be not next week, but the week after. So thank you guys so much for stamping with me today. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Thumbs up would rock. Thank you. Have a great night, guys.